Well, it is game on. The first unofficial 2012 Hillary Clinton for President ad hit the airwaves today. This one was put together by a dentist from Chicago. That's right, President Obama's own hometown. This ad is running in New Orleans and is expected to hit TV screens in Washington, D.C., New York, and Los Angeles. Take a look. So, is this a harbinger of things to come? Chip Saltzman is a former campaign manager for Mike Huckabee, and Bernard Whitman is a former President Clinton pollster. All right, Bernard, so I'll start with you. Is your former boss's first lady / wife going to get behind this Chicago dentist and the others who are already calling for a Hillary Clinton run in 2012?
I doubt that very seriously. You know, Megan, the right has been obsessed with Hillary Clinton running for president in 2012 since the day Obama won the presidency in 2008. And there's no wonder why. The Republicans would love nothing more than an inter-party squabble. Why? Because every time in the last 40 years that a sitting president has been challenged by a member of his own party, that president has failed to be reelected or has decided not to run altogether, as the case with Johnson. But I think that reports of President Obama's demise are greatly exaggerated. The situation today is quite similar to 94, and in fact, the Democrats did lose Congress in 94, but President Clinton was able to reposition himself. The Republicans dramatically overreached. The voters said, my gosh, we don't want any more of this. And President Clinton was handily reelected in 1996. I think that is likely to happen, even if the Democrats lose control of Congress.
But, Chip, Bernard's point may be a good one, but it's a Democrat who is behind this ad. A Democrat who says he has buyer's remorse over President Obama, and it's many other Democrats. As Bernard puts the date at when Mr. Obama won the presidency. But I remember covering that primary race between Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton, and when he beat her for that nomination, that's when the discontent really started within the Democratic Party.
It was completely heated up, and of course there's this discontent now because they're 60 days away from maybe one of the biggest Democrat disasters at the election day that they've ever seen. And Barack Obama, whether you like it or not, is the head of the Democrat Party. I think they're already starting to play the blame game of why it's going to be so bad for them in November. Part of that is the discontent with the president. Some of it's with the leadership. But that's why you're going to start seeing this talk about Hillary Clinton in 2012.
But would she ever do it? In an interview with NBC last October, she said no 3 times to the question, will you ever run for president again? Ever. Never mind challenging a sitting Democratic president in 2012. Chip, and then Bernard.
Well, the person sitting in the White House right now said no unequivocally that he wasn't going to run for the White House several times before he actually ran for the White House. So
Bernard, he seems to be positing that politicians don't always tell the truth about these things.
Well, certainly Obama's troubles invite speculation, and the fact is the Democratic Party was nearly evenly divided between Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama during the primary fight. So it's no surprise that the speculation continues. But here's another difference. In 1994, the Republicans had a unified vision, very charismatic leaders, and a clear path that they wanted to take the country in. The Republicans today are in so much worse shape than the Republicans in 94. They are rudderless, visionless, and leaderless. And they will likely field a very weak and unknown candidate in 2012. So, frankly,
Chip, why do you say wow?
What's
so wow about the statement he just made? Who's the Republican frontrunner? Who are the Republicans pointing to as the guy or gal who can take down President Obama politically?
If we're so bad right now, why are we 10 points ahead in the generic ballot? I mean, if we're so bad, the Democrats must be 10 times worse because they've got nothing. I mean, they are going to
but you need a person. When we're talking, you're talking about midterms.
Yeah.
We're talking about a presidential race. You need a person who can galvanize not only the Republican base, but get those independents who have said that they're unhappy with Barack Obama to decide that there's a better option. Is Hillary Clinton that person?
You know, I think for the Democrats it might be, but from the Republican side, there's lots of people that certainly will step up. But I've always been one of those people. I think it's a little bit too early to speculate about who's going to be our front runner, who's going to be our nominee, because
but here's why I ask you that. I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'll give you the chance to answer this without interrupting you, Chip. Here's why I ask you, because since there isn't one strong Republican who continues to pull at the top, does that not create an opportunity for Hillary? If she senses discontent, if she senses the country moving, as this dentist says, having buyer's remorse about Barack Obama, does she have a chance to oust the guy they're unhappy with and then run against what she may presume is a weak Republican opponent? Go ahead, Chip.
Yeah, Megan, first of all, you can interrupt me anytime. It's your show, so I'm happy to be interrupted by you.
You're
anytime.
my guest.
Second, yeah, there is a small window that she could take an opportunity for, but it's very rare that happens. Look, the last time a really major league nominee ran against a sitting president was Ted Kennedy and against Jimmy Carter, who was perceived as a very weak president. Ted Kennedy had every, I guess you could say, every available resource to him and still came up short. The nominee for the party, the sitting president of the United States, has every resources at his fingertip, not only the party but the committees. It's really hard to topple and primary a sitting president. Now, you can weaken that president, but it's very hard to beat him. And even though the Obama administration has had a bad couple of months, this is still the sitting president of the United States. It's hard to primary somebody like that.
Bernard, before I let you go, so you don't think it's going to be Hillary challenging Barack in 2012?
I think it's very unlikely.
But do you think, I got to ask you this, because this was floated out into the atmosphere a couple of weeks ago, possibly replacing Joe Biden on the ticket with Hillary Clinton. Joe says, I've done my time, I want to go be with my family. Hillary comes on, makes her heir apparent if Barack Obama wins re-election. Is that at all likely in your view?
I think highly unlikely, maybe incrementally, microscopically more likely than the first scenario, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Wow. Gosh, it would be such a great news story if it did. Okay, Bernard and Chip, thanks so much. We appreciate your insights on it.
Thank you.
Good to be with you.